Welcome to ReWild Your Business. This is our first episode under our new name. So Heads Together has now evolved into ReWild Your Business. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found your way here okay. It's always difficult, isn't it, when you change something and you're not quite sure how the tech is going to figure it all out, but I'm hoping you have successfully navigated over with me. And this is episode 170. We're not starting again from one. Absolutely not. And today's my birthday. Well, it's not actually because I'm recording this before my birthday, but when you listen to this on the 4th of August, that is my birthday. So what a brilliant time to welcome in this new evolution of the podcast, which I'm so excited about. I feel like this has been coming for a little while now, actually. I do feel like something has felt like it needed to shift, and I probably didn't act on it as soon as I could have done. But I have now, and I'm excited. This feels like a really sparkly new era of the podcast. And you know how much I love doing this podcast. I absolutely adore it. So, this isn't my first rodeo. If you are listening to this as if it were a completely new podcast, Heads Together, where we began, was a space where we explored business building alongside all of the messy inner work that it takes to show up fully as yourself. So that's always been our topic. And I absolutely loved Heads Together, and I poured my whole heart into that show. But it's definitely been shifting. Something's been shifting over the last year or so. I've been shifting, I guess. And the work I've been doing has been evolving and changing. The kind of women I've been working with has been evolving and changing. And so today we begin again. But this isn't really just a rebrand of the podcast. This feels like a return. It actually feels like a real deepening. I guess it is. It's a rewilding, if you will. Let's dive in. Welcome to ReWild Your Business, the podcast for women doing the work their soul intended. I'm Jo Mokes. I'm an international business coach, and I'm a guide for women doing the work that matters. Rewilding your business means cutting away what doesn't belong to allow what does to thrive, finding simplicity in your work. And it's about bringing the whole of who you are to the table, whether you're building something new or finding your way back to what really matters to you. I'm so glad you're here. So why rewild your business? Well, the truth is that I honestly got tired of the noise. I don't know about you, but I got fed up with all the formulas and funnels and like the pace of the online world, which just treats people like they are numbers. How big is your email list? How many people are on your email list? Have you got 10,000 people on your email list? As if those data points are what matters. And I got really fed up with all that noise. And I definitely know that I am not alone in this. So a lot of the women I work with, a lot of the women I talk to, we don't want to do business like that anymore. There's a rising wave of women, and you could well be one of them, who are just done with all of that performance, really done with chasing that version of success that never really quite felt like you, right? I think we're absolutely done with burning ourselves out just to feel like we belong in some sort of club that we never got to have a say in terms of how it was curated. So I guess that for me, speaking for myself, what I'm craving now is absolute truth. It's wholeness. It's more depth. It's a way of doing business that doesn't ask us to abandon what matters to us, to abandon our values that we hold dear, that doesn't ask us to step away from the whole of who we are to be able to fit some kind of narrative that someone else wrote. And I guess what I want And I think what so many women want now is a way of doing business, a way of working that feels like life, not like some kind of nightmarish, never-ending launch. Or, launching is just, I hate even the word. It gives me like palpitations. Our work should not feel like that, and it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to feel like these crescendos of overworking. And that's what rewilding is all about, I guess. I'm not suggesting anyone goes off grid and lives on a mountain with alpacas, although that always, as you know, has tempted me. And it's not about throwing strategy out the window, right? This is the truth. We absolutely need good business strategy to grow, but that business strategy can feel good. This is about coming back into right relationship with your work. And I think we need to focus on peeling all those layers away of who we think we should be online. I think social media has done a lot of damage in terms of the way we show up online, all of the comparisonitis that we get when we see other people on social media, and this kind of pale imitation of ourselves that we tend to put out there because we want to fit that mold. I think it's time to put all of that down. What is it actually going to take for you to show up as who you really are? Because I tell you one thing for sure, you are never going to find consistency, and you're never going to find your true voice, and you're never going to find a way to connect with your ideal clients that is sustainable and actually results in paying clients until you can do that, until you can show up as the whole of who you are. So this is really, really important. So what does it really mean to rewild your business? And what does this podcast, the ReWild Your Business podcast, stand for? Well, for me, I think I want this to feel like a movement. I think this is overdue. I think we're beyond ready. And I think that genuinely soul-led women want a home where they can feel at home doing business differently. I know that you believe your work matters. I think you believe your work matters deeply, right? And if that's true, then I also know that you're not here to play small. But, and here's the big but, not playing small doesn't mean you have to hustle hard, right? Those are not opposites of each other. And I talked, I think, a couple of podcasts ago, actually, on Heads Together about not playing bigger, but playing truer. And I think that really speaks to the way I feel about rewilding your business. We're here to build something real, something really rooted in who we are. And I guess this podcast is where we're going to explore what that could look like, whether that's practically talking about your business model, your marketing and all of those things, but also spiritually as well. What does embodiment feel like in your business? We'll talk about energy. We're going to talk about nervous system regulation, so important for us as women running successful businesses. We're going to talk about strategy, absolutely, but we're also going to talk about identity and power and voice and visibility. So I think I just want to really reiterate something. Rewilding your business is not about shrinking back. It's actually about expanding into what is truly yours to have. You do not have to fracture yourself to be successful. And I will keep saying that as many times as I have to keep saying it. You do not have to fracture yourself into little pieces, little acceptable pieces in order to be successful, whether that is financially successful, whether that is successful in terms of fulfillment, the way you feel. What rewilding your business means is you get to look at everything in your business, your mindset, your business model, your marketing, every single piece of it, and you get to cut away or put down anything that no longer serves you, anything that's stopping the whole of you coming to the table. Because when you do that, you allow what does belong to thrive like never before. Think about a rose bush. Think about what happens when you prune a rose. It goes crazy, right? It blooms way better than it ever has before. I think I mentioned this metaphor before, but I love it. It's so true. We have a willow tree in our garden and we had it cut right back probably about 9 months ago now. And honestly, I cannot actually believe how much it has grown since then and bushed right out, and it is magnificent. It's almost like I look at it and I think, how have I not actually noticed you growing with my naked eye? Because I just can't believe it's grown so much so quickly. And rewilding your business, taking out what doesn't belong there and leaving just what does. It's a form of that. It's a form of pruning, right? It is the secret to growing the most successful version of your business. I know this to be true. And we don't have to play by patriarchal rules anymore. We never did. But right now, we're realizing it. I think the world is cracking open right now. And I think the old systems, the old ways of doing things are crumbling. And if we want to play a part in what is going to replace those old ways, then we need to step up. We need to demonstrate a new way of being in business. So your voice is needed. Your wisdom, your expertise, your way of doing things is absolutely needed. I think as women, we're tired. It's not just physically. It's not just my menopause, but we are tired. We're core tired of contorting ourselves to fit into spaces that were never bloody made for us in the first place. I think we're tired of building businesses that look successful on the outside, but on the inside are absolutely draining us. We're not willing to tolerate that anymore, and we don't have to. And if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, that's me, I'm working so bloody hard and I still don't have what I want and it's not feeling great. And every now and then I have that really freaking horrible feeling of like, is this worth it? Or do I need to change direction? Like, what's going wrong? What am I doing wrong? That thing we often say, what am I doing wrong? And the truth is, it's not that you're failing, that you're doing something wrong. I think you're simply part of the rebuilding that's happening right now. I think you're being called to work in a truer way, and you get to answer that call now. You get to look at your business through fresh eyes and say, what do I need to put down? What do I need to double down on? And what do I need to let go of? How can I simplify? I think there is a whole wild sisterhood out there rising up. Women who are just not willing to play the old way anymore. Women who want to reconnect with their own rhythms, with the seasons, with working in a way that feels bloody good. Women who are refusing now to keep building businesses in ways that betray their bodies or their values. I believe that is the future of business. That's the revolution we're in right now. It's a rewilding revolution, people. Are you with me? So what can you expect from this next chapter of mine that I always am going to share with you, of course? Well, every week on this podcast on ReWild Your Business, I'm going to be bringing you honest, soulful, grounded, useful episodes on how to build a business that is true to you. Mostly solo episodes. Sometimes I'm going to invite very carefully chosen guests onto the podcast for honest conversations, real human connections. And we're going to cover topics like building your business ecosystem in a way that actually fits your life, or the life that you want to build, the life you want to have. We're going to cover simplifying your offers without losing impact. That's so important, right? I know how much impact you want to have with your clients, but you can simplify your offer suite and still do that. We're going to talk about creating content that doesn't just perform, right? We're going to go back to that relationship marketing that I talk about all the time that is centered around connection. We're still going to talk about growing your business, making more sales, making money. Rewilding your business is not about not making money. It's not about embracing your spirituality at the expense of your bank balance. It's about understanding that both can be true. You can build a whole business where it feels like every single part of you gets to show up, and you can make plenty of money doing it. And at the end of every episode, like I've been doing in the last few episodes of Heads Together, I'm going to offer you 3 simple journaling prompts to work on over the week. So if you've been feeling like something needs to shift, maybe it's feeling like your soul is calling you to do something differently. And if you're ready to rise up now through truth, not performance, not doing all the stuff, not burning out, but through finding and finally embracing the truth of who you are, then you're in the right place. That is rewilding your business. Oh, I've loved recording this first episode. It's felt really good. So here are your 3 journal prompts for this week. The first one is, where in your business have you been holding on to a version of yourself that no longer feels true? Where in your business have you been holding on to a version of yourself that no longer feels true? The second prompt for this week, what does rewilding mean to you? And not just like as an idea, but what does it mean to you in terms of a way of working and living? And the third one, if you were to build your business in complete alignment with your truth, with the whole of who you are, what is the first thing you'd change? If you were to build your business in complete alignment with your truth, what's the first thing you'd change? Okay. Now, I have a little link that I'm going to pop in the show notes for you. If you want to make sure that you don't miss a future episode of the ReWild Your Business podcast, and you won't want to, remember, I've had listeners to Heads Together who've written to me saying, Jill, honestly, I've actually built the entire foundation of my business just by listening to your podcast, which I just love. I love that. And if you want to make sure you don't miss an episode, then go to jillmokes.com/RYB podcast and just subscribe there. It will make sure that you get an email every week from me on a Wednesday where you'll get the link to the podcast episode, you'll get the 3 journaling prompts written out for you, and you'll get other valuable stuff from me too. I always talk about my newsletter subscribers as my VIPs, my inner circle. And that's genuinely how I see this. That's genuinely how I view the people on my email list. So please come and be one of them. I would love to have you. And I would love to be sending you that email every week, making sure that you're not missing a single episode of this podcast, which is my way of paying forward everything that I've learned, everything that works for me, everything that has gone into me building the business I have today. I share it all. I share it all on this podcast. It's time to rewild. It's time to build what we really want. Okay, it's so good to have you here. I'll see you again, same time, same place next week. Bye for now.